G'day everyone, my name is Greg Wyman, and in this short presentation, we're going to go through and explain how cloud service providers deliver storage and how that same or similar technology is available to yourself. So when you talk to a cloud service provider, Office 365, Box, Salesforce, Azure, AWS, Google, doesn't really matter who. What do you want from their storage? What's important to you? Well, universally, what we hear from everyone is they really only want four things. They want the storage to be absolutely reliable. They want performance on demand. They want virtually unlimited scalability. And they want it to be easy. They don't want to have to manage it on a daily basis. You know what's not important is what hard disks or storage they use. Because what they've done is they've actually taken Linux open source solutions and developed highly scalable, highly reliable, great performance solutions. So looking at how they've actually delivered this, and this concept was really originally developed by Facebook and also Google, and now pretty much all the cloud service providers use the same or similar methodology. And it's all about simplifying storage. So at the top of the tree, we have a performance tier that's based on RAM, NVMe, PCIe, SSDs, so super high performance, 800,000 IOPS. And this is plugged directly in to the backplane or the bus of the host, directly connected into each of the applications. What that means is we deliver the lowest possible latency, which in turn translates into the highest possible performance for your applications. Underneath the performance tier, we have a capacity tier, and a capacity tier is pretty much the exact opposite. It's based on open source Linux. It's all about scalability, having high capacity, low cost, 10, 12, 14 terabyte drives for $400, $500, super high capacity. But it's based on Linux open source technology and commodity 386 products. From a reliability perspective, it works on a minimum of 3 nodes over 2 networks with at least 2 or 3 live instances of data. It's simple. It has self-healing and self-managing inbuilt because what AWS, Azure, all the cloud service providers, all the hyperscale companies, they can't afford to spend days, hours, weeks managing individual storage components. And what's interesting is it's absolutely been built for failure. And this was best explained by a chap called Randy Bias back in 2012 when he was trying to explain how AWS has built their infrastructure. He used the analogy of cattle versus pets. So back in the old days of physical servers, you had a critical application running on a server. You had a second server probably clustered together with that application. Every morning, you'd come in and go, good server, be good today server, don't crash server. You put lots of resources, lots of focus on that server to help ensure it was up and available. At a cloud service provider and hyperscale companies, because of the size and order of magnitude of what they are managing, they can't do that. So they know each individual component's going to fail. So what they do is they tag it with a number. So when it gets ill or when it dies, they take it out the back and shoot it, replace it with another component, and the system, the back-end infrastructure, self-heals, self-manages, and rebalances itself. Very cool technology. So why is this important? Well, when you look at almost every organization, 80 to 95% of all data in all companies is cold, stale, inactive. Probably will never be accessed again, yet it's sitting on some of your most expensive storage. Why is that? It just doesn't make sense anymore. And the reality, being a cynic, the reality is storage vendors have done a great job of creating storage silos and locking you into their platform, so all your data needs to reside on expensive storage, even the stuff that you'll probably never access again. So let's look at a performance tier and how we can help deliver a phenomenal performance tier for your business. So VirtuCache is a solution. It focuses absolutely on your active data. It's a VMware solution. It only works on VMware. And the whole premise is actually very simple. It puts your most active data on the fastest storage as close as possible to your applications. So what that means is all your active data is living on RAM or NVMe or SSDs on the same backplane, on the same bus as your applications. The bigger the cache, the better it is, because you can have more active data sitting as close as possible to your applications. Unquestionably, what this delivers is the lowest possible latency and superior performance for all your applications. Now, what makes VirtuCache incredibly compelling for most organizations is there's zero changes to your applications, not a single change to any application to deploy VirtuCache. And there's zero changes to your backend SAN storage, where a kernel mode driver that installs in your ESX environment, it takes approximately 15 minutes to install. There's no reboots, it installs live. It's 167 Australian dollars per month, and it's available as a 100% free trial. So you can download VirtuCache, use existing RAM in your hosts, test it, validate the performance that you'll get out of it, and then we'll work with you or your partner to actually decide and configure and estimate the size of NVMe or SSDs that you require to deliver all-flash performance without an expensive upgrade. So some of the customers that use VirtuCache is, I'm not going to go into all of these, but go to vmSoftware.com.au and have a look at some of our testimonials, reference accounts, case studies. One I'll highlight here right now is Nippon Steel, where VirtuCache outperformed an all-flash array. Pretty compelling. So let's look at the second level, the capacity tier. So as we've seen, VirtuCache for your active data delivers a very high performance tier. For your inactive data, we have VirtuStor that turns all your inactive data into a capacity tier. It's based on the 322 configuration. And what's really compelling, it allows you to grow at your own pace. So you're not locked into having to buy this, this, or this. It's commodity components. So you can actually use white box, secondhand, or you can actually repurpose existing servers to create a scale-out server SAN technology. And this is exactly similar, the same or similar to how the hyperscale companies and the cloud service providers do it. Now, the two important things is inactive data does not need performance because it's inactive. The active data lives in the performance tier. What the inactive data absolutely needs is reliability, redundancy, and resilience with self-healing and self-managing capabilities built in. So this is a fascinating chart from Wikibon. Now, what this shows is in blue is the traditional enterprise storage vendor market. So you can see it's a shrinking market over time. In orange is the server SAN technology. So this is the market that we're talking about. This is the market that we're talking about with VirtuStor. So if we go to 2019, you'll see that the enterprise storage market is worth about $25 billion. The enterprise and cloud scale server SAN market is worth about the same at $22 billion. But let's go 3 years ahead, and we'll see that the traditional enterprise storage market has collapsed to about $13 billion, or roughly half of what it is at the moment. And the server SAN market has almost doubled to $38 billion. Why? Companies are finally recognizing that the cost of tier one storage silos is just getting too expensive to handle the extreme data growth that organizations of all sizes are handling. So what we've done is we've taken the same or similar concepts to the hyperscale and to the cloud service provider organizations. We've taken these concepts, we've packaged the software, commercialized it, and make it available to mid to large organizations. So finally, storage becomes easy, fast, and most importantly, highly affordable. So a couple of the customers that we have ranging from primary storage across backup, video surveillance, high performance disaster recovery, again, go to vmsoftware.com.au to have a look at more testimonials. And in summary, I'd like to say thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this presentation. If you want more information, go to vmsoftware.com.au, give us a call or send us an email. Again, thank you very much for your time. Bye.